Hello guys, hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are in the beautiful Croatia. Sorry, the parking spot is not the best, but we are here, so you can see the views, which are nice and so on. So I just got my bike serviced at the local dealership, so I have several points I would like to point out. So this was my first 10,000 kilometer service. So if you have seen my previous video about which was called the honest review of this Moto Guzzi V85TT, so this one will be more of a follow-up video regarding what was it like to drive it for 10,000 kilometers. Yeah, bike. So in the first video I've talked about several points, like more of a negative side. I mean, this bike is fantastic, but I wanted to point out more of a negative stuff because it never gets mentioned in the reviews and so on. So today I will try to mention or point out what has changed after 10,000 kilometers. So as always, I like the bad stuff more, so let's go to the issues which have developed in 10,000 kilometers. So first of all, we have a squeaky rear shock. So right now it's not that squeaky because I asked my service to lube the bushing in here, because this one is going bad rapidly. So it's not that now as squeaky as it gets, but it's usually super squeaky, and it sounds like a old cart. I mean, like the one with the horses and so on. So this issue is not fixable. It's quite persistent with 2019 and 2020 models. In 2021 model, something has been changed in the bushing, so it's not as evident in there. So if you're buying a new one, it's like you will not have this squeaky rear shock, but if you would buying an old one, or basically you have an old one, okay, this bike just turned 1 year old, so if you have such bike, it's likely that the only solution for you is to upgrade the rear shock with a normal bushings. If you would dismantle it, there's nothing that complicated in there. It's basically just a rubber bushing which is gets dry because it's an open-ended and it just squeaks. It's a bit annoying, but it's the way it is. So next thing, as you can see, I have upgraded the front mud flap. So I wouldn't say it works perfectly. It's made by Pyramid. You can see my other videos for it. I would say it's like 7 out of 10 because, well, first of all, the quality of the bolts in there is quite low. This is basically just from washing and driving in the rain. So, and you can see they're super rusted right now. But the mud flap itself does not protect the engine too well. As you can see, bike is dirty after almost 2,000 kilometer trip, but you can also see that this thing is also quite dirty. Next thing I would like to point out that it's more of an ergonomic side. So as you can see, I don't know if it's seeable in the video too good, but you can see some scratch marks from the boots in here. So this one, and also if we go to the other side, we have a similar issue here. It's, if you can see it from the dirt. This is from my more or less touring boots, which are quite soft, but usually when you are sitting on the bike and you're touring, you tend to keep your feet as close as possible to the frame. So if you're riding like this, you will get scratches here because this part just stands out in all of this. Okay, so moving forward, I didn't have too much of an issue with the bike. If you remember my first review, I was complaining that there's a high oil consumption with the bike. So this consumption seemed to be fixed right now by itself. I mean, current oil consumption for 2,000 kilometer trip is now more or less up to 100 milliliters, but that's it. So before that it used to eat about 300 milliliters per 1000 kilometer. Right now I've done almost 2000 with nothing, so that's good. So the engine seems to be fixed. Other issues with the engine is that Moto Guzzi recommends valve adjustment every 10,000 kilometers, but if you go into the forums or into Facebook groups, you'll see that people are complaining that valves go bad in like 6,000 to 7,000 kilometers, and then you have to adjust them. It's usually the guys who are riding in hot climates, the ones who are complaining. So same goes for me. I'm in Croatia and my valves were super bad. They were out of alignment quite a lot. Due to that, the bike was constantly pinging. You can hear a detonation whenever you're going up the mountain, and that's a bit annoying. The other issue with the bike is if you're running the stock exhaust, I mean you're running the cat and the backpipe in here, so the bike tends to run hot, and by hot I mean quite a lot hot. So it means that AFR ratio or air fuel ratio is running lean. That's because the bike is designed for Euro 4 or Euro 5 standards. Depends on the year model you have or you would like to have. But my huge recommendation is just as soon as you're able or as soon as you're comfortable with your warranty, just remove this crap. Really, your bike will thank you, and you will be happier with the bike, because not to mention the increase in power, but you will also have slightly lower temperatures. You will not get burning sensation when you're riding, because in this bike I do have a lot of burning sensation in my feet, because, well, from the heat basically. The other issue with the exhaust system is that the stock headers, they tend to rust quite a lot. So if you can see in there, let me show you a bit better. See? So they do rust. Currently for me it's still not an issue, because I will be swapping them to aftermarket bigger bore headers, also decatted and so on. But usually the guys from 2019, by the way this bike is 2020, so the guys from 2019, they're now starting to complain that some bikes have rusted through. So usually what the part that is rusted through is this joint in here. So take note that it's likely you will have to swap it to something else. Just a few notes regarding the engine. So Moto Guzzi recommends you to use 95 RON in Europe. I'm guessing it's 91 RON in US, because they have different systems, but I'm not too good for it, so just I'll leave it up to you. So I'll talk in European value, sorry. So if you are running 95 with this bike, usually you'll get some pinging. You will have some pinging even in mild climate. For example, in Lithuania, which is a semi-north country, so we do tend to have mild climate in there. So if you're running fully loaded, it's likely that there will be a short issue with it. So take note, use 98 with this bike. Trust me, if you can use 100 RON, your bike will be happy and you will be happy too. What else? With honesty, outside of these issues, I haven't really noticed any more of the issue with the bike itself, except the fact that when you're going on a trip and you stop somewhere, you always get some, I don't know, random guys come up to you and say, oh wow, what is this brand? Oh, why is this an Eagle? Oh my god, no. So you will get a lot of attention, but as always with all the bikes, the attention will come from the guys. So take note. So girls just don't care. Okay, on the more serious note, another issue that I found is that stock shocks for 2019 and 2020 models in here, they tend to get stuck a bit sometimes. So there was an update on this part for 2021 models. So you can go to your dealership if you're feeling that your front is getting stuck from time to time. We can check it. Basically just push it forward and then back, and you will see if it's going back to the same location, or is it stucking a bit lower, or remaining a bit higher. So this is fixable, but it's more of a nuance, not an issue. By the way, with those front shocks, even though we have some mild adjustment in here, it's not exactly adjustable. The adjustment capacity for it is quite low. So I think for the major issues, or I think like bigger issues, that's it. Other remarks would be for me would be that rear brake on these bikes is insufficient. So if you're traveling two up and with a lot of luggage, so you will get a basically feeling that rear end is not stopping at all. So take that in mind and use your front brake a bit more, or you can upgrade. So rear brakes, I mean the caliper is J1. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it okay. It's a Spanish brand, it's not Brembo's. Brembo's we have in the front, so as you can see here, but the whole system, I mean the ABS block, which is somewhere in there, or the rear brake caliper is J1, I don't know. I really don't speak Spanish, sorry guys. So basically this front caliper is just a magnet for attention, for you to take note that, oh my god, this bike has Brembo's. Well, it does have kind of a Brembo calipers, but that's about it. The whole system is not Brembo. So you know, it's up to you. So same goes with this one. So the front brake canister or the system is J1, whatever. So it's not Brembo. Yeah, for that is it. Regarding the smaller issues or smaller nuances, is that this bike tends to rust a bit. So you can see in here, because while if there's some moisture in there, or there's I don't know, there's water from washing, these parts will rust. Same goes for this side. I have not cleaned it after the trip. You can see all the rust marks in here. Same goes here. I'm just I'm just basically swapping these bolts to titanium, and it tends to fix the stuff in here. So you know, there's that to it. Regarding something else, well, I don't know. The bike is fantastic. It's easy to ride. It's comfortable. Basically, I'm doing around 250, maximum 300 kilometer runs. So I mean, before the stop. So for me that is okay. What else? The fuel consumption for it is roughly about 5 liters per 100 kilometers, so that's good. Regarding the oil, well, I did have some issues with foaming, but probably that was due to the fact that the dealership mixed, I don't know if they mixed something or did something bad, but the oil filter was installed in the wrong way. Also take note that if you're changing or doing maintenance yourself, always change the gaskets in here, and also on the filter head in the bottom, because usually they get bad and there's an issue that it starts leaking. Mine has started leaking after the service in here in Croatia, so we'll have to get it fixed back in Lithuania. I'll just leave it as it is because the leak is quite small, so there's no issue. I will not lose that much oil while going. Also, the other small issues with the bike over the kilometers, if you haven't seen my videos, were that these bolts tend to get loose, but this is the same with all two-cylinder engines. So if it's I don't know, Harley or Guzzi, it's the same. Some bolts will tend to be loose from vibration, so there's not that big of an issue. Bigger issue for 2019 models is this oil sensor. It tends to go bad. It tends to give you all kind of stupid errors that they will ask you to change oil, or for example that oil level is insufficient, and so on and so forth. So usually this is it. It also tends to leak. But this has been fixed on 2021 model, so if you are buying a new bike, you shouldn't care. If you have an old bike, well, just monitor it. It's not that they're all going bad or there is an evident issue with everyone, or with every bike, but it's an issue nonetheless. What else? I think it's basically it. Also would recommend you change these goddamn tires. You've seen my videos about them, so these ones are horrible. They don't have traction on the tarmac, on the highways. They do have some traction, but the traction is quite limited. Also, they're quite bad in the wet. And the worst part is that these Michelin Anaki tires are horribly noisy. So if you're going on the highway and you just tilt the bike a bit, they start screaming. It's so annoying. I do have a new tires. I have bought a Continental Trial. I don't know, I can't remember the exact name. It's a trial bike, so basically they're OEM tires for BMW GS models usually, so they should fit. And also I'm not doing too much of a trail riding. I usually just ride this for my trips on tarmac, so that's okay. So I'm guessing that is it. Thank you for watching. I really like that that my subscriber base is increasing. I'm also trying to be as honest as possible with my videos. So once again, I love this bike. I love this company. I never knew this company before. I mean, the Moto Guzzi, for me, Italian bikes were always MV Agusta, Aprilia, Ducati, but for Guzzi, well, I never heard of it before I bought it. So so I'm not a fanboy as it gets. Also, usually the guys who I have met riding these bikes are always older than me, so so I'm basically the odd one out, so you know. Anyway, so thank you for watching and see you next time. I will try to do my best to offer you good content more. So once again, this is a beautiful Croatian island, so sorry, I cannot film. I cannot film it enough. So okay, see you later. Bye.